calling my name. Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name. Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name. Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name.
There's nothing that's been more important or vital to me, culturally, artistically, than the color purple. It is a solid base of spiritual and emotional power for me. Every woman and man who has been invisible, who has felt unseen and unvalued, this is their story.
Today, our teacher taught us about a place called Africa. Our mamas come from Queens over there. You know what that means? We, royalty.
The original film is one of the cornerstones of culture, certainly black culture.
What if we put it back out into the world?
And kind of paint our own version of it.
We want to connect with the younger generation.
Litz is our incredible director.
He's putting a little modern twist to it, but still capturing the essence of what this film means.
It's the story of finding yourself and living it and going after it no matter what.
It's about sisterhood
and redemption.
Where you get to see all these strong women shine and be who they're truly meant to be.
That's a lot of women. You seem like trouble.
Now, I come here out of respect, but if there ain't none to get, that show ain't none to give.
It's a human story, and that's what makes it ultimately great and enduring.
It's fun and joyful.
As we say in our community, it fills you up, so you leave feeling full.
And I'm thankful for every day that I'm given. I'm thankful for loving who I really am.
I feel so blessed to join the Color Purple family. It's just an incredible piece of art.
That's how filmmaking should be. Joy, excitement, Color Purple. Let's go.
From the blues to hip-hop, African Americans have driven sonic innovation for more than a century. While styles have changed, there's one sound that's remained constant, a source of strength and courage, comfort and wisdom. Gospel.
That's a little bit of gospel.
Gospel music is soul. Gospel music is R&B. Gospel music is funk. It's hip-hop. Gospel music is the full spectrum in terms of its sound of black music and beyond.
Mahalia Jackson, what was special about her voice?
She believed every word she was singing, and she wanted you to believe it.
Preachers have style, right? Gospel singers have style, right? Black style in music and preaching is similar because it allows black people to believe that they can survive a bit longer.
My mother had gone to New Bethel Baptist Church.
God still standing there.
Theo Franklin would preach and then Aretha would sing. Oh my God, if you ain't got the spirit then, you dead.
The sermon becomes the song. The song becomes the sermon.
God, we ask that you would reinvigorate somebody.
It's almost as if there's a soundtrack in a church setting.
Amen, brother. That was beautiful.
For generations, gospel music and preaching have formed the bedrock of the black religious experience.
The sound still connects people. The sound still gathers people.
These astonishing art forms, carrying an enduring tradition, continue to evolve.
Do you think there will always be gospel music 100 years from now?
I don't see how we can thrive without gospel music.
That's right.
I say it's going to always be there forever.
Listen, as we tell the story of how a people learn to sing the Lord's song in a strange land. This is the powerful story of gospel.
Before I pray, let's just remember a few things. That the March on Washington Film Festival exists to educate, inspire, and motivate us all to have a better understanding of our history, and so we might know and understand why we are where we are today and what needs to change. And as the founder of the Film Institute says, our world, as beautiful as it can be, continues to need repair. And each of us must do our part. One necessary condition for healing, he says, he reminds us all, is truth. So you pray with me. Lord our God, as we gather tonight to celebrate the mission of the Washington Film Festival and to give particular thanks for two men who embody its vision and commitment to healing and truth, we ask your continued guidance and inspiration upon them, upon all those gathered here. We ask for your continued agitation and encouragement, your continued challenge and blessing that we might indeed hold on to truth, tell sacred stories, and work toward the dream of beloved community you have instilled in our hearts. Bless this night, all who helped to make it possible. Bless this food, this lavish celebration. We give thanks for all who have worked so hard and are working now that we might feast. And may we remember that with great blessings come great responsibilities. Help us to see and do our part. Amen.
Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name. Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name. Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name. Well, Lord, somebody's calling my name.
Yes, your skin is white. Does that make you
your host for the evening, Jonathan Capehart.
This thing is very, very high. Good evening and welcome to the March on Washington Film Festival Awards Gala. It is an absolute honor to be here with you tonight as we celebrate two extraordinary individuals who have dedicated their lives to the pursuit of justice, equality, and civil rights. Tonight, we gather not only to acknowledge their remarkable contributions, but also to recognize the enduring spirit of the movement. We remember those who came before us, whose sacrifices paved the way for the progress we continue to fight for today, and we honor their legacy by lifting up those who carry the torch forward, blazing a trail towards a more equitable and inclusive future. Our honorees this evening, the Reverend Al Sharpton and Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock. Both of these men embody the essence of this ongoing struggle for justice. They have been unwavering champions for social justice, advocates for the marginalized, and voices for those who have long been silenced. As we embark on the 11th annual March on Washington Film Festival, let us not forget the words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who reminded us that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. The festival endeavors to bend that arc a little further each day by amplifying the stories of the civil rights movement and exposing them to a broad and ever-growing audience. Let's take a look back at the festival's history, but more importantly, at the work happening now to push us into the future.
The mission of the March on Washington Film Festival is to tell the mistold and untold stories of the civil rights movement, particularly the movement from the mid-1950s to the late 1960s. We want to uplift the icons, the well-known folks, and the foot soldiers, the everyday people who populated and moved the civil rights movement forward.
Well, I was literally inspired by a trip that I took with Congressman John Lewis. He had an annual trip to Alabama, Mississippi, where I used to live as a young person. And in touring the civil rights sites, my attention was caught by an older woman who was an usher at one of the churches. And I had a conversation with her about what it was like for her. And it got me thinking that change is made by thousands of people, not just icons. And we decided to show films about the battle soldiers, the sort of the rank and file citizens who come together and make change. That was the inspiration. Our history is consciously mistold, and we have to really fight and come together to create platforms so that people who know our history can have more honest conversations. And in this case, it's through art and narrative form.
Since the founding of the festival, we have expanded on what we do as an organization. So we have year-round events. We have our annual big festival in the fall. We do events every month or so around either an author or a film or a theme, like February, African American History Month, March, Women's History Month, etc. We also have a student and emerging filmmaker competition so that we encourage emerging filmmakers and student filmmakers who are addressing issues around civil rights or social justice to share their short films. This year, we're starting a new program called Imagining Equity, where we help high school students, juniors and seniors, and their teachers use their phones to create social justice films. One of the things I think is unique about our festival is that we incorporate the visual and performing arts along with scholarship. So it's more than films and more than panels. We do virtual presentations. We have people speak on a particular subject. We have had art exhibits and spoken word performances and dance. We've put together musical performances around some of the important and unknown history of the movement.
We let storytellers be storytellers. The world is filled with people with a story. We all have a story. So we rely on people from all over the country, in fact, all over the world now, to come tell us their story. And our job is to find the resources and the infrastructure and the audience so that they can connect and tell that story. Our history needs to be told accurately, and the March on Washington Festival is an important platform to do that. Jonathan, thank you so much for being so steadfast in your partnership and support for this growing platform. We are just so grateful for you. So our history in so much of this nation is purposefully mistold, and it has been for most of our history. When the festival formed 10 years ago, it was created as a platform to give storytellers, particularly young people, an opportunity to tell their stories and connect with audiences. We didn't know that we would see a resurgence, an organized effort to fight back and to double down on the desire to tell our history inaccurately. So we're just so grateful. We're just so grateful that so many come together to support artists, storytellers, directors, producers, young people with something to say about our past and connecting it to our future. I wore my cute glasses, which means I have no idea what my notes are. I was told not to do that. So you see the front end of the festival, the programming and the films. Last night, Amazon did a sneak of an amazing film, Silver Dollar Road, about a tenacious family in North Carolina and how their property is threatened by unclear title, but also the forces of, quote, development, end quote. Saturday night at Duke Ellington, you will hear preachers explain to us the different things we're going to learn, things I shouldn't be talking about because I don't know anything about, but homiletics. And we're going to hear Yolanda Adams sing. And you're going to see, you're going to correct me when you come up, I'm so sorry. Can't see and I can't hear. 32 programs, beautifully curated. But let me tell you a little bit about the back end, what you don't see about the March on Washington Festival. It's the student engagement, it's the student training, it's the student and emerging film competition, it's the workshops for those who want to get into the industry and connecting the talent with distribution. And then it's some fairly dramatic stuff. The mayor of Montgomery, Alabama, the only African-American mayor in that city's 240-year history, wants to rename Jefferson Davis Boulevard for attorney Fred Gregg. He wants to rename other Confederate general streets for Claudette Colvin and Rosa Parks. And he does that with the city council's authority, and the Attorney General of Alabama sues him under a law in Alabama that says you can't change a monument at the local level that's been there more than 40 years. And we helped on that, offering advice to the mayor. We don't do politics, we don't do lobbying, but we can talk about communications and we can connect someone like that to people who know what they're doing. Claudette Colvin's family reached out to us. All of these years, she has carried a felony record for violating the then Jim Crow law. And we worked with attorneys and the media in Alabama to get her an expungement. Jill Abramson used to be with the New York Times, approached us about helping raise money. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I'm okay to talk about it. Help us raise money for some of the living victims of state-sponsored violence, and started with Sarah Collins Rudolph. Many of you know Miss Rudolph, then Miss Collins, was the fifth little girl in the 16th Street Baptist Church when it was bombed. She was blinded but not killed. Her sister was killed. And she has received no support, compensation. And so we rallied together and figured out how to do that. and on and on. And I'll stop with one about which we're incredibly proud. I'm going to ask Joseph Olszewski to stand. Joseph is now a board member of the March on Washington Festival. We met Joseph was doing work with the family, the surviving family of Emmett Till and Mamie Till Mobley, and helping get a national designation, which President Biden did this year, of sites in Chicago and Mississippi. And Joseph, among his many contributions, he was the superintendent of schools in Seattle. And he posed a question to the festival: what if we created a high school curriculum where students could learn how to do social justice filmmaking? What if? Fast forward, we worked with our friends at the Schusterman Foundation, with Reg McKnight at Google, with some madrinas in Los Angeles, Ana Ponce, Monica Garcia, Antonio Hernandez, and we raised $300,000. We retained the UCLA School of Education and the USC Filmmaking School to create the nation's first high school curriculum for social justice filmmaking. And it has there are, as we speak, 200 high school students in Los Angeles in the country's first year, 3 or 4 area high schools in Los Angeles. And they will, the first semester, learn about narrative and story, and the second semester they will make a film. Our goal is to have this program nationwide, that there will be tens of thousands of 10th, 11th, and 12th graders trained in capturing the story that they want to tell. And we think that's transformative. We also think it's expensive. We have a budget of $1.6 million. I was just speaking to the bishop of the National Cathedral about this part of the job, raising money. It ain't easy. We have a budget of $1.6 million. Thanks to your incredible generosity, we are probably at $1.42 as of an hour ago. And we're going to close that gap tonight through you digging into your heart and your phone, and you're going to use either a QR code on the table or a pledge card. You heard the choir. We are now ready for the offering. Shake down, press together. Please fill out your card. Our staff and volunteers of the festival will be coming around. Help us close that. Help us make Imagining Equity available to tens of thousands of young people. Help us be responsive to dozens and dozens of still alive civil rights battle soldiers struggling to be heard and to be seen. Help us help hundreds of storytellers connect with audiences around the world. Fill out your card, do your QR code, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Okay, so I am just realizing that those are collection plates on the table where you had to see your your table number. That is clever. Clever. And so now that we know that those are collection plates, you know what you're supposed to do with the collection plate. You put something in the collection plate. He said he has a gap to fill. Use the plate. It is now my pleasure to introduce a woman who has dedicated her career to amplifying voices that need to be heard and to using art and film as instruments of change. Under the guidance of her creativity, this festival has grown into a platform that not only entertains and educates, but also inspires and empowers. Please join me in giving a heartfelt welcome to the festival's artistic director, Isisara Bey.
Giving praise to the source of all life and honor to the 7 directions, north, south, east, west, above, below, and within, and to the cycle of life of African ancestored peoples, those who've gone on before, those living, and those yet to be born. Because they were, we are. Because we are, they will be. Robert has told you about how this festival came into being, about our mission to reawaken history into a living presence now and into the future, and about some of the programs we have initiated to do so. Another project we launched this year for the festival is a collaboration with the Duke Ellington School of the Arts. The Dessa family is over there. Besides being our venue for our Saturday night program, Pulpits, Protest, and Power, the live event, we are producing 2 other arts education activities in the school this week. Tomorrow, the student body will have a private screening of the new documentary Going to Mars, the Nikki Giovanni Project, on the life of the noted poet, activist, scholar, and our 2019 March on Washington Lifetime Legacy Award recipient. It will be a school-wide assembly. And throughout the day, tomorrow and Friday, Dessa students will view 3 virtual and augmented reality pieces and meet their creators in our pop-up VR salon. The first thing the administration requested when we broached the idea of embedding into their school is that we afford their students as many opportunities as possible to participate in the production of our proposed activities. The faculty and staff dedication to the students and their pride in them is infectious, and we were eager to comply. So between the school's jazz band performing at our reception on Saturday night, the concert choir performing in the show, and others serving as production and stage assistants from load-in to breakdown, scores of Dessa students will have participated in a meaningful way. Thank you, Principal Sandy Logan, and the members of your administrative staff and board who are here this evening for this powerful partnership, which promises to be the first of many. Another special aspect of this evening is the upcoming performance by the Grammy-nominated singer, Wayna. Wayna brought her posse. You can read all about her in our program insert. But one thing of note is the fact that Wayna is an actor in one of the entries in our annual Student and Emerging Filmmaker Competition, the narrative short film, Here. You can watch that one and the other 11 finalist films on demand on our festival platform. We are delighted to cross-pollinate our programs in these creative ways, and I am now even more delighted to welcome Wayna to the festival stage. Thank you.
Such a pleasure to be here. I am representing the short film Here, which is about a young girl named Meskarem, an Ethiopian girl, who on the first day of school comes to class ready for a brand new school year, brand new pencil set, brand new braids, brand new book bag, and she encounters what most immigrant children dread, roll call. And that's because the teacher mangles her name. Meskarem is nicknamed by her teacher M. Now, while I play Meskarem's mom in the film, it was not unlike my experience growing up as an Ethiopian immigrant. In fact, a lot of times I was renamed Wayna Bwondosen to Wonder Woman, to Wanda or Wendy, a lot of different nicknames. And you know what? If I could sing a social change song for that 9-year-old girl, this is what it would be. slipping from their tongue, an identity undone, a label they call me in vain, mispronounced or minimized to abbreviate my pride, but I won't answer to that name, 'cause I'm here when fear tries to define me. My name, it reminds me I'm here. No, it isn't all the same. There's only one I'll ever claim, and I won't answer to that name. No, I won't answer to that name. They may spit and scrutinize, ooh, me and eyes, but I know from where I came, and as long as I'm alive, I hold my head up high, and I live to my name, for I'm here when fear tries to define me. My name, it reminds me I'm here. No, it isn't all the same. There's only one I'll ever claim, and I won't answer to that name. No, I won't answer to that name. No, I won't answer. I won't answer to Wonder Woman. I won't answer to Wendy, Wanda, Wakanda Forever, Woman King, Wanda Sykes, Lil Wayne, Wanye Morris, Wayne Brady. No! I'll only answer to what my mother, Titanic Alashaman, you named me. I'll answer to my name. Yeah. So in the spirit of social change, I'm taking these off. Let's go. Okay. Let's go. One of my favorite artists, mentor artists, is the great Nina Simone. And I was proud and pleased to represent on behalf of the DC Grammys to create a new category, a new Grammy category called the Best Song for Social Change, which the First Lady Biden presented for the first time on the Grammy telecast this past year. And Miss Nina Simone was all over our proposal, so I feel her spirit in this room tonight. But here's the thing, this is the crowd participation part of the evening, so I need you guys to help me out. 2 sections, okay? You're gonna clap, and it's gonna be Sina. Let me hear you say, Sina. Yep, that's one part. The next part is when I say power, you're gonna say it back. Power! Oh my God, that was so unpowerful. Let's try it again. Power! Oh, power! All right, I think we're ready. Give me a clap like this, please. See that? See that? See that woman dressed in white, sleep all day, all night. See that woman dressed in red, make your man lose his head. See that woman dressed in white, woman, see that woman, see that woman, empties pockets, wreck his days, see that woman, fly away, see that woman, 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 see that I don't think we need a serial Cinnamon in the White House. What do you guys think? Oh, Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? Cinnamon, where you gonna run to? All on that day when I went to the rock, Lord hide me, I went to the rock. Lord free me, I went to the rock. Lord free me, all on that day. So I went to the river. Lord hide me, I went to the river. Lord free me, I went to the river. I ain't gonna hide you, guy, all on that day. So I went to the Lord. Please hide me, I went to the Lord. Please hide me, I went to the Lord. Please hide me, all on that day. But the rock cried out, I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I ain't gonna hide you, guy, all on that day. And I said, power, oh power. I said, power, oh, all on that day. One more time. And I said, power, oh power. I said, power, oh, all on that day. On that day, on that day, on that day, on that day, on that day. Cinnamon still free, his soul blacker than me, but he stand tall like a tree, no shame, name in infamy. He hide behind crooked cops, he hide behind jello pops, he hide behind hair dye, hairline going drip, drip, drop. He hide in Hollywood lights, behind dreams of award nights. He even hide in plain sight, shoot a man on Fifth Ave, right? He hide behind who he saved, heroes who misbehave, who took the lie to their grave while we cheer and look the other way. Cinnamon sinners, you might, but your soul put up a good fight. That hole closed for a night, open the next day looking for more prey. Cinnamon don't matter now, in the end all heads bow. Now I gotta forgive somehow, or I'll be the new Cinnamon. Wow, Cinnamon you won't make, Cinnamon you won't make, Cinnamon you won't make a sinner out of me. Oh no, Cinnamon you won't make, Cinnamon you won't make, Cinnamon you won't make a sinner out of me. I cry matter with you. See that I need you, all on that day. And I cry power, oh power. I cry power, oh, all on that day. One more time. I said power, God bless you. God bless everyone here. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful evening.
I'm supposed to follow that? That was fantastic. Wayna, thank you so much. That was truly, truly beautiful. And now on to the awards portion of our program. The March On Awards were created to celebrate singular individuals and organizations whose mission is centered on the protection of civil rights and the advancement of social justice. This year, in light of our recipients' lifelong and ongoing dedication to these pursuits, we have established the March On Lifetime Achievement Award to reflect his decades-long body of work. Let's take a closer look at my friend and colleague, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
As one of the preeminent civil rights leaders of our time, Reverend Al Sharpton has been a steadfast presence in the public eye for over 5 decades to help advance a mission of equality and racial justice in society.
No justice! No justice! No justice!
Born in the Brownsville neighborhood of Brooklyn in October 1954, Alfred Charles Sharpton Jr. has always gravitated to engaging others and getting involved in the issues of the day. Sharpton is a Baptist minister who preached his first sermon at the age of 4 and toured with gospel singer Mahalia Jackson. In 1969, Sharpton was appointed by Jesse Jackson to serve as youth director of the New York City branch of Operation Breadbasket, a group that focused on job creation for African Americans. In 1971, he founded the National Youth Movement, and with the help of James Brown and other prominent activists, he worked to empower impoverished inner-city youths. And since then, Reverend Sharpton has been a prominent and outspoken advocate during public events and disputes that involve race and civil rights.
We've got to keep on fighting, and we've got to vindicate and stand up and substantiate that the dream was not for one generation. The dream goes on until the dream is achieved.
A 2016 profile in Vanity Fair called Sharpton arguably the country's most influential civil rights leader, and it would be hard to argue with the label. He serves as the founder and president of the National Action Network, anchors Politics Nation on MSNBC, hosts the nationally syndicated radio shows Keeping It Real and The Hour of Power. He holds weekly action rallies and speaks out on behalf of those who have been silenced and marginalized.
Floyd could have been anybody. But then the reaction was not anything. All over the world, I've seen grandchildren of slave masters tearing down slave master statue over in England and put it in the river. I'll pour out my spirit among all flesh.
Sharpton speaks on the world stage, addressing racial disparity in a host of nations, reminding everyone that nobody is truly free until we are all free. This year, the March On Lifetime Achievement Award is presented to Reverend Al Sharpton to recognize a lifelong and ongoing dedication to the pursuit of social justice and a more equitable world.
I hope you all are keeping the applause going, folks. Give it up for Reverend Sharpton. You can do better than that. My name is Simone Sanders Townsend, and one of the greatest honors that I've had in my little life thus far is to precede the Rev every weekend on MSNBC. From day one, I made sure to introduce Reverend Sharpton as the great Reverend Al Sharpton because anything less just didn't feel sufficient. I often talk about radical revolutionaries, and they have many traits, but most importantly, radical revolutionaries are strategic. They are risk takers. They stand in the gap for others, and radical revolutionaries are willing to take on not just their adversaries, but also their allies. Reverend Sharpton embodies this like no other leader that I know. I have personally watched him hold presidents and aspiring presidents accountable. I have witnessed him speak clearly and without hesitation about the plight of Black people in rooms where no one else would dare say our names. I have seen the Rev uplift and push young people, especially young Black women, to the forefront and ask us to lead. Reverend Sharpton shows up when the cameras are not there, and then he comes back with the cameras because he understands the power of the press. The Rev has cemented himself as the advocate for Black families who are seeking justice and peace in the wake of violence and countless incidents that highlight systemic racism. And that's not just me saying it. The Washington Post actually wrote that in 2020. Rev is a radical revolutionary that so viscerally understands his lane. And his radical commitment to the movement is inspiring to me. His mentorship is unfounded. Thank you, Rev, for keeping the pressure on all of us. It is your dedication to the cause of civil rights and social justice for well over 65 years that made the March on Washington Film Festival create a new award. Rev is a trailblazer, y'all. Seriously, Reverend Sharpton is amazing. And the work he continues to do, it is hard. It is taxing. The work is dangerous. Every time he puts himself out there on behalf of a family that others have overlooked, he is doing so at great personal risk. Rev is a reminder that there is always more each of us can do. I love Rev so much. I'm so sorry I'm not there with you all in person to give these words, but your girl is working tonight on set in New York, and I also know Rev is working. But Ashley, my sister in the movement and Reverend Sharpton's daughter, is there to accept this award on his behalf. So please, everyone, stand to your feet and give a resounding round of applause for the March on Washington Film Festival's 2023 March on Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, the great Reverend Al Sharpton. The great Reverend Al Sharpton.
Good evening. First, all honor to God, who's the head of all of our lives. To the March on Washington Film Festival founder, leadership, board, staff, supporters, and volunteers, thank you for all of your efforts to bring all of us here together tonight in one accord for a great purpose. Obviously, at this point, we all know I'm not Reverend Al Sharpton. My apologies for the disappointment, as I am not the gifted orator or preacher you were expecting tonight. My name is Ashley Sharpton. I am the youngest daughter of Reverend Sharpton and the founder of the National Action Network's Youth Huddle under the National Youth and College Division. I am truly honored to accept the March On 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award tonight on behalf of my father, my teacher, my leader, the greatest civil rights leader of my lifetime, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. Rev sends his regards, love, and gratitude along with his regrets for not being able to join us in DC tonight for this amazing event because of commitments that he couldn't get out of. The March on Washington Film Festival holds a special place in our hearts because of the remarkable work it does in preserving the legacy of those who have fought tirelessly for civil rights and equality. This festival serves as a beacon of hope, reminding us of the transformative power of collective action, just as the original March on Washington did. Today, I come not only to accept an award, but because it is now required for me to show up and take space in and for my generation and those to follow. It is required for me to show up because my father hasn't stopped showing up for our people since I was born 36 years ago. When or if he ever should choose to rest, I want him and his counterparts to trust that we will hold the line and carry the banner forward. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we gather not just to celebrate achievements and honor excellence like Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton and Senator Warnock, but to confront the stark realities that our underserved and minority communities face. As we gather here, we reflect upon the historic March on Washington and the indomitable spirit of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose legacy my father has dedicated his life to upholding. Reverend Sharpton has not only been a steward of Dr. King's dream, but also a bridge between generations, working closely with the King family, Martin Luther King III, and the Drum Major Institute in convening the 2023 March on Washington this past August, which many of you attended. Our journey is far from over. In this critical juncture, we find ourselves on the brink of a new election year, with the unsettling presence of Donald Trump still looming. We must stand united against injustice, ensuring that our voices are heard, our votes are counted, and our democracy is preserved. The fight extends beyond the ballot box. It is a fight for the young people of this nation, a fight to protect affirmative action, Black history, education, and economic wages. Just yesterday, we were in Atlanta alongside the Fearless Fund, supporting them in court when we witnessed a significant development in the ongoing struggle for economic equality. A federal judge denied a preliminary injunction against the Fearless Fund firm, who specifically supports Black female entrepreneurs financially. We won only round one in the fight against the anti-affirmative action activists who initiated this lawsuit, but we need you all to continue with us in that fight. Today, I implore all young men and women around my age and older, some of you are elders, to rise up in the spirit of Esther, in the spirit of Dr. King, and in the spirit of Reverend Al Sharpton. As Esther 4:14 reminds us, we have come for such a time as this. We need an Esther brigade to come forth as Reverend Sharpton does, as Reverend Warnock does, as so many here has done. It is our duty to march on, not just in the streets, but in every aspect of our lives. Progress demands movement, and stagnation is not an option. Thank you for this honor on behalf of my father again, and let us march on with unwavering determination, courage, and the willpower to win. In true Reverend Al Sharpton fashion, no justice, no justice, no justice. What do we want? Y'all don't know. What do we want? What do we want? And when do we want it? When do we want it? Thank you very much for this honor.
I have known Ashley since she was a little girl, and you just heard she is definitely her father's daughter, but she is definitely her own person. Ashley Sharpton, thank you very much for your stirring words. And again, congratulations to Reverend Al for this much-deserved honor. The John Robert Lewis Lifetime Legacy Award is presented each year to an individual whose life's work has embodied the grace and quiet determination of the award's namesake. From the historic pulpit at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, our honoree has led by example and now serves the great state of Georgia with urgent purpose. Let's learn more about Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock.
Many people got to know the name of Reverend Raphael Warnock when he was elected to the United States Senate in January of 2021. But his dedication to advocacy and leadership stretches back much further. Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock grew up in Caton Homes Public Housing in Savannah. He was born one of 12 brothers and sisters and raised in coastal Georgia. Warnock is a proud graduate of Morehouse College, and after graduating, he went on to earn a PhD and begin his career ordained in the ministry. For over 16 years, Senator Reverend Warnock has served as senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, the former pulpit of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Said you got to go, boy, and tap into that faith that they taught you about at Ebenezer Church, that faith that your daddy used to preach about. And by faith, he left the comfort of a pulpit and made the whole world his parish. By faith, he taught us to meet brute force with soul force, to harness indignation to discipline, to protest with the creative weapon of love and nonviolence. By faith, he dreamed a dream for America until America could grow up enough to dream that same dream for itself.
Senator Reverend Warnock has been a determined champion to help others, His political career grew out of his leadership to help expand Medicaid in Georgia and his efforts to empower low-income communities around the state. Warnock has been tireless in his efforts to support healthcare access, abortion rights, gay marriage, and he has been a vocal supporter of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act.
Congressman Lewis believed, as I do, that democracy is not just a political thing. It is really the political enactment of a spiritual idea. This idea that all of us have within us a spark of the divine. And therefore, we ought to have a voice in the direction of our country and our destiny within it.
The senator serves on committees dealing with agriculture, nutrition, banking, housing, science, and transportation. The senator proudly stands in support of policies to help women, veterans, immigrants, and anyone in need. The John Robert Lewis Lifetime Legacy Award is presented to Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, celebrating a life's work to advance the dignity of all people, no matter their circumstance.
Award to Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock. Please join me in welcoming the distinguished Congresswoman representing the 7th District of Massachusetts, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, family. Good evening, movement family. And thank you to the March on Washington Film Festival and everyone who made tonight possible. I do want to take a moment of personal privilege as someone who long before I was in politics worked banquets waitstaff for 6 years. And I know what it is to be a part of an invisible workforce. So if you would please honor our waitstaff for the evening. It is truly meaningful and powerful to be here with you tonight to uplift this movement and to give flowers to some of the preeminent visionaries of our time. I also want to thank our ASL interpreter. Doing a beautiful job. Thank you. When I retreat in my mind's eye and I revisit the first March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, I'm besieged by compelling images that captured a sense of solidarity and camaraderie of that glorious day, of hope and optimism. And I also can't help but think of the thousands more not recorded in those images, not recorded in our history books, but who have been the backbone of our movement. Every person who packed a bagged lunch, who Vaselined an elbow, who sang a freedom song, who sent up a prayer. Their image does not grace a commemorative program or a postage stamp, but their mark on history is undeniable and indelible. What a deep personal honor it is tonight to uplift and celebrate two Black men. A year or so ago, I founded an organization in my district called Ayanna for Black men. Not usual, because electeds usually have constituencies that are for them. But as a Black woman, I felt compelled to cover and uplift Black men. Too often, they have been erased and not lifted up as the leaders, the visionaries, the patriots that they are. So it is a deep honor to be here this evening because Reverend Al and Senator Warnock are certainly two black men that I am for. We can clap on that. They move with the steadiness of men of faith, with moving mountains with the faith of a mustard seed. They were toiling in this vineyard long before their titles and their names were household ones. I know that Reverend Al is not here physically tonight, but I do just want to take a moment to acknowledge him and congratulate him on his award. He is truly an institution and an inspiration, and I am grateful for his faithfulness, his vigilance, his stamina, and that he is an unapologetic and righteous, truth-telling black man. It is my great honor and privilege to say a few words about my indomitable partner in good in Georgia's United States Senator, Reverend Raphael Warnock. This man, this black man, has made history and he has made change. Yet, he walks with a humility that can only come from moving deeply in purpose. He knows who he is and whose he is. Senator, you are steady in your stride and clear in your convictions and purposed with your feet. Your impact will be felt for generations to come, a friend, a colleague, and a Morehouse man through and through. A true son of Georgia, born and raised as one of 12 brothers and sisters, no wonder this man has thrived in the pulpit and in politics. I know we both feel that our formative leadership training came in the church, and I imagine from stories you've shared, some of that initial politicking came around the dinner table. You are an intentional man and a dedicated father, and you have demonstrated time and again that you are a skilled legislator. You never forget that this work is about the people, and the people of Georgia and these United States are so deeply proud to call you theirs. Because while you are Georgia's senator, the power of representation and the power of coalition building that has defined your career means folks from every corner of this nation claim you as theirs. From fighting for justice for black farmers to addressing the critical needs of our babies, to have counselors and mental health supports in our schools, to voting rights, you have approached every policy issue you have championed with deep curiosity, intentional partnership, and sharp strategy. You are a man who knows how to get things done. It was the honor of my lifetime to share the title of Congressperson and to be a member of the Congressional Black Caucus alongside our ancestor, Congressman John Lewis, for a few brief years. True enough, his very presence when he entered a room, he shifted the energy and he would make us all stand up just a little bit taller. Proud of our shared history and cognizant that each time we walked the halls of Congress, our very existence was disruptive, historic, and deeply needed. Raphael, I know Congressman Lewis would be so deeply proud to see you receive this award that bears his name. It is a beautiful thing to be a faithful descendant, but it is still a better thing to be a disruptive ancestor who fights for our people and for the great-great-grandbabies we'll never meet, doing the work now of delivering a love letter to future generations. Raphael, I know that in your lifetime you will continue to carry that torch, to pursue justice for our people, to stand up for what you believe in. Ladies and gentlemen, family, it is my great honor to present this award to Senator Raphael Warnock.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm a Baptist preacher. Talk back to me. Hello, everybody. Thank you so very much. It's wonderful to be here. And I am deeply, deeply honored by this award. I speak in a lot of places, but it's hard to compete with dessert. I want to thank my colleague, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, for her kind and magnanimous introduction. I think she was a little bit too generous. The only time I remember receiving a more generous introduction, the person who was supposed to introduce me didn't show up. So I had to introduce myself. I'm grateful to her, grateful to my friend and brother, Jonathan Capehart. Give him a great big round of applause. And for the visionary among us who got all this started, Robert Raven. Give Robert Raven a great big round of applause. I have a confession to make. I am always nervous when I'm on the same program with Reverend Al Sharpton. And that's because when Reverend Al and I are together on the same program, often we're on our way to jail. In an act of civil disobedience, let me be clear, for a righteous cause. And I am especially honored to receive this award in memory of my great parishioner. I was his pastor, but he was my mentor, the great John Robert Lewis. Come on, let's hear it. Come on, let's hear it for John Lewis. March on Washington Film Festival, Robert Raven and others, thank you for this honor. And I have to tell you that I especially love this year's theme. Pulpits, protest and power. Now, you walking down my street. I like that. Because the truth is, the movement embodied in the March on Washington, the freedom movement emerged from America's Freedom Church. Albert J. Rabbitoe, that great scholar of African American religion, wrote that classic book, 1979, slave religion, said that the difference between the slave master's religion and the slave's religion was wide and deep. Called by the same name, but he said the difference was wide and deep. Howard Thurman said, by some amazing but vastly creative spirituality, the slave undertook the redemption of a religion that the master had profaned in his midst. In other words, they gave us the blues and we made music. They gave us scraps and we made soul food. They gave us the Bible and pointed to Ephesians where it says, slaves, obey your masters. Our ancestors could barely read, and yet they took the Bible and somehow stumbled into Exodus where God told Moses to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. I was shaped by a freedom faith that gave birth to Martin Luther King Jr. and Ella Baker and Fannie Lou Hamer and John Lewis. And so I accept this award in memory of them and all that they represented, and I carry it not as a crown on my head, but a crown above my head that I am being challenged to grow tall enough to wear. These are tough times, but we're all called to keep the faith and to keep fighting for the highest and the best in the American dream. To channel our pain into power, to believe, to push back against the forces that seek to divide us, and to remind us of the covenant we have with one another as an American people, e pluribus unum, out of many one. And it has been the vocation of the black church, the vocation of the church that has shaped my whole ministry and my whole career to do that work. In the words of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, Dr. King's organization, to redeem the soul of America. And so I'm inspired tonight. I'm not about to give up. I'm not about to give in to the forces of division and demagoguery, because people who have no vision traffic in division. We have to keep on doing the work. Thank you, March on Washington Film Festival, for telling stories, because stories transform us. The storytellers, the griots, the poets, the prophets, they see things that other people cannot see. And the stories are sometimes about a future that we can't see, but often they're about the past, and they remind us that the struggle was going on long before we showed up, and that it is our job to keep it going. I love art because art transforms. And on this year in which we celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop, and the 60th anniversary of the March on Washington, we are encouraged in these dark days to know that the light shines through the darkness, and the darkness overcometh it not. We are encouraged in these difficult days to take the long view, to keep telling the stories. Thank God for the hip-hop artists, the griots of the modern era. I remember them getting together years ago, telling our young people in the midst of this gun violence, self-destruction, you're headed for self-destruction. Y'all remember that? I'm telling my age. And then came Public Enemy, talking about fight the power. And even before that, my man Grandmaster Flash telling our stories. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. These stories encourage us to keep fighting, to keep the long view. And so thank you so very much. I stand tonight as a United States Senator. And I often remind people that I'm not a senator who used to be a pastor. I'm a pastor in the Senate. And so as I close, and nobody believes a pastor when he says, as I close. I'm reminded that when I was born a year after Dr. King's death, Georgia was represented by two effective senators. They were good at bringing good things home for Georgia, but they were arch segregationists. One of them said, we love the Negro in his place, and his place is at the back door. Well, now I sit in his seat. And the other senator was so legendary that out of only 3 administrative buildings in the Senate, one of those 3 is named for that Georgia senator. And after I won my 5th election in 3 years, they said to me, Senator, you moved up a little bit in seniority. You can get another office, a bigger office. Matter of fact, you can move to one of the other 2 Senate buildings if you like. I said to them, I'll take a larger office. My staff could use more space. But I'm not going to move to those other 2 Senate buildings. I want you to leave me right here in this building named for this Georgia senator, because I understand prophetic irony. No, leave me in this building named after that Georgia senator, because his statue is in the rotunda of this building right down the hall from my office. And every now and then, on my way to my office, I get to look back at that statue. And in the words of one great hip-hop artist, I get to say, how you like me now? God bless you. Keep the faith.
Congratulations again, Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, for your award and for that terrific speech. And thank you to all our awardees, presenters, and performers, particularly Wayna, for participating in this evening's program and for supporting the work of the March on Washington Film Festival. Though the gala might be drawing to a close, the festival is just underway. We hope you're able to experience all that the festival has to offer this year, and I encourage you to sign up for your festival passes if you haven't already. Also, please remember those remit cards and QR codes on your table and make your tax-deductible donation to MOWFF tonight. Those collection plates just aren't decorative. I've got the choir back here, so they're not decorative. And while we're speaking of donations, I'm pleased to announce that tonight alone, there are people in the crowd who put money in the collection plate. Friends here, folks joining online have contributed an additional $27,500 to the festival's cause. Thank you for your unfailing generosity. Hey. I heard you. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm talking to the choir. Thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate the power of film and the enduring legacy of the March on Washington. Let's ensure that the stories we tell and the actions we take honor the past as we shape a brighter future together. And finally, to close us out, I am pleased to welcome back the folks who are standing right behind me, back to the stage, the Shiloh Baptist Church Gospel Choir.